Welcome back to the podcast. It's episode 4 of Fruit of the Boom. I'm Matt Sawicki and it's JBJR.
Yo, what's up?
We got our homie B Money in the studio tonight.
Yeah. Legendary. Oh, so let's start. Legendary B Money. Let's get.
Yeah.
Legendary B Money.
Alright, that's what's up. I'll take that.
B Money brought his homie Omar.
That's right. My boy Omar Witherspoon, say what's up.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the show, bro, man.
Thanks.
Omar, just a little backstory. Omar is one of my closest friends. We grew up through high school together. He was a Jennings High School grad, and I was a Lutheran High School North grad.
Say that again.
J-Town, right? We used to scream that, even though I didn't even go there. I used to be like, J-Town. He'd be like, shut up, I'll smack you. But, yeah, so that was like our big thing. We was playing ball a lot, playing basketball. We used to go, to the Y, right?
Yep.
The
YMCA on Pershaw.
Yep.
Florida.
Yep, Ferguson YMCA, man. That was our spot. We used to ball up in there like daily. And Omar had the crazy ops. Like crazy ops.
Nice.
I could throw the ball anywhere within 50 feet of the rim. And he would catch it and do ridiculous things.
That's dope.
So we was just best friends. We used to kick it, talk all kinds of stuff, like hypothesize about life and, the best that like 17, 16, 18-year-olds could do.
Yeah. Nice. That's what's up.
And a lot of the dreams and stuff that we had kind of became realities for myself.
Yeah.
And for himself.
Well, more for him.
But, we actually haven't seen each other in, what's it been like? Close to 25 years?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, so we literally just reunited today.
That's what's up, man.
My boy, man.
Yeah, that's my brother.
That's what's up, man.
Appreciate you guys spending time on our show.
Most definitely, man.
Yeah, it just worked out perfectly.
Yeah, it
Because
did.
JB just texted me. He was like, yo, where you at? No, he called me. He was like, where you at? And I was like, oh, snap, my bad.
It's all good, man. You know it's all love, man.
Yeah,
It's
no
all
doubt.
love.
I appreciate the patience.
Oh, man, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
Y'all always
Come.
patient. I'm always on CP time, and I appreciate the patience.
It's all good. So yeah, man, we have you on the show. Like you heard the last couple episodes, man. Like how we do everything, we keep it real natural. We basically, basically let you have the floor for the most part. So we just wanted to hear about you and your history about you.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep up, man. Because Trifecta, that brother is, man, just on a whole nother planet. Like, I try to keep up, man. Trifecta, that's my brother too. Like I love that dude to death, and like. Just like you could kind of get an idea for how certain people create based on how they speak.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like I know his workflow, I know how he likes to get down, and like you could just tell, like it's just
Right?
like random humor, and he'll play me beats sometimes. I just be like, dude, like what were you thinking?
Yeah.
When you did that, and it's like it's just so natural for him.
Sure.
So it just
That's how it be, man.
Like it's crazy. And JV, like, he's just so energetic, and it's there in his music.
Yep.
Right in your face.
Absolutely.
Right, so, yeah.
Right on.
I got a lot of respect, man. Y'all definitely are some of the realest dudes I've ever met. One of the dopest engineers I've ever come. I've been around a lot of engineers, I'm going to be real. And Matt's one of the realest dudes. I came in here with a band right before I moved out to Fort Wayne. And he mic'd everybody up and tracked that joint out, sent it to me, and I was like, this is fire.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
That's
Much
nothing but
appreciated,
love,
man. Thank you.
That's
Absolutely,
love. For
absolutely.
real.
So, B Money used to judge with us back in the day on Fresh Produce. For those of you that didn't know.
Yes.
Amongst a lot of other amazing things, but that's kind of the direct connection to Fresh Produce and why we wanted to get him so quickly onto the show.
Most definitely. One of the original judges, most definitely.
And then beyond that, you've produced some pretty big records.
Yep. I did some stuff.
Oh, don't quit being modest, man. Quit being modest this damn show, man.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, yeah, I'll produce some bangers.
Go, give us a quick rundown of all the achievements and accolades.
Okay, all right, I did. First time I ever got my name on a record was Jenny from the Block, which was a song featuring the Locks, or at least was Styles P and Jadakiss.
Yeah.
Nice.
I did scratches on that record.
Nice.
DJ, as they just call them, DJ cuts and scratches. And the wackest part about that is the fact that I did some really, really dope scratching on that record.
Yeah, and
but of course it didn't make it.
Oh no!
Only engineers and producers were like, engineers really know that life.
Sure,
because they know when the producer tells them, "Nah, I don't want that," and the engineer's like,
"Man, that was the shit.
That was dope. What the hell?" Like, so a little backstory with that record is I knew a dude named Peter Wade, who's like a pretty big pop EDM kind of / producer engineer dude. He's done like more work with Jennifer Lopez after that point. Mm-hmm. He actually introduced me to Bruce Sweetie, and if you don't know who that dude is, he's like a legendary engineer.
Absolutely.
I met Bruce Sweetie, and it was like meeting the sun and like having it right in your face without melting your eyes out. That's pretty much the equivalent. Basically, Bruce Sweetie is the cat that recorded everything from Michael Jackson to Duke Ellington to Quincy Jones, is all his work. Like, just phenomenal engineer.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
track list, like insane
track list. Man, I sat in Hit Factory before they closed in New York and had a good conversation with him. The first day I met him, he was awesome.
That's what's up.
So Peter Wade introduced me to him, and that's how I got cool. I met Corey Rooney, and he laid the foundation for me to be like, yo, you should work with 50. He heard some of my tracks I was doing earlier. And he was like, yo, I should play some joints, play these joints for 50. You know, 50's doing a deal with Interscope soon, and things gonna sign with Eminem. And so that was back, I guess that was 2002.
Okay.
So he was saying, you know, like 50's putting something together, you know, I think I should play some of his joints for you. And then about around the time 05, like the time after what was his debut, 50's debut album?
Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah, so the movie came out, right?
Right.
And he was, actually the second album, The Massacre, had dropped. And I thought the track that I'd done, that I placed with him, actually, they told me that, 50 wanted to use this track I had. And I thought it was going to go on a Massacre, and it didn't. It got caught up in sample clearance.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, my whole heart just sank right out of my asshole.
Wow, man.
But, I mean, literally, like, that's when you think you got no self-esteem.
Oh, yeah.
Wait till that happens.
Like, oh,
you just go in the bathroom, take your shirt off, start crying to yourself. Like, why?
Damn.
You know?
It's such a kick-ass thing. Why don't they fuck with me?
Right. I will have to start this process all over again. I hate my life.
Yeah, do you start to think that, like, I'm going to get some blacklisted stuff, or like, am I going to be seen as a problem because I picked bad samples or something?
Yeah, like, it's already bad enough I'm sampling now. My samples don't get cleared.
Right.
It's like, oh, don't fuck with him. He's that guy who uses those samples. And they're just like, no, but they pick Kanye shit.
Right.
Why don't they pick my shit, man? But anyway, so I got over that because, like, I went to a video shoot. My homeboy Justin Francis, who I'm going to shout out a lot today because I love that brother. Justin Francis. JustinFrancis.com. Justin Francis. He's a dope-ass video director. He did, like, Hated to Love It with 50 Cent and Game, which is probably one of the dopest videos either one of those guys had anything ever to do with.
Most definitely.
He directed that video. He also did, like, some shit for Young Buck off his debut album. He did a dope ass Obi Trice video.
Nice.
Cry Now, I think.
Okay.
That joint he shot all in Detroit. Super dope. One of my favorite hip hop videos, period. He did joints for, like, I mean, big artists too. Like, he did some joints for Timbaland. Like,
wow.
I mean, he's done a lot of really ill videos. And I used to work with him. He's still a great friend of mine.
Yeah.
And he invited me to a Young Buck video shoot. And when I was there, Sha Money approached me, who at the time was, you know, the production coordinator for G-Unit Records. And he was like, yo, we got that sample clear.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I was just like, what? I was like, are you serious? And he was, I'm trying to be all cool and shit, you know? So this is, I'll give you the translation, the homie translation. So my face is saying, all right, that's cool. But on the inside, you know, it's like, you know when the World Cup dudes score a soccer goal and shit, they go sliding across the grass, they're like ripping their shit off. Inside, that's what my soul was saying. It was like, goal!
Yeah.
But I was just standing there, like, shaking my head, like, that's cool. That's what's up.
Right on.
But
I ain't mad.
Yeah, I was definitely not mad. That was the furthest thing from angry I've ever been in my life. But yeah, I was super happy. You know, he was like, "Yo," and on top of it, we want to use it for the movie.
Oh,
man!
So you can imagine, like, Man,
everything coming together for that.
Yeah.
See, I can take a good guess of what song you probably talking about, man.
Oh yeah, you want to shout it out? Go ahead.
Oh, Hustler's Ambition, baby.
That's right, baby. Yeah, man. That Hustler's Ambition, man. It's funny when you get like 50-year-old dudes like that be hanging out on the corner store in Harlem, running up to you like, "Yo, man, you did that record, man." You know, you just like, what? You be listening to that? I heard it on 97, man.
Shit, that Frankie, man.
This is my shit, man.
Hey, like Frankie Beverly, that's gonna get any 50-plus-year-old anybody
on top.
I'm telling
anybody who ever went to a family barbecue is definitely loving that record. Right?
Oh man, I got the vinyl of that.
Yeah, yeah. That's the whole thing. That's the whole love about samples. Like, you got records in your collection of your uncle or your father, your mother, whatever your collection. That are just sitting around the house, and
that's
a lot of
people
try to hate on people that sample music. Right? I always tell people, I'm like, if it weren't for samples, you wouldn't have no 95.5 old school.
Oh sure,
people would just go forward with music, and there would be no like recycling or like appreciation for what came before.
Oh, I don't even. Yeah, if you didn't have samples, gosh.
Yeah,
man, you wouldn't have hip hop.
That's
right.
I'm saying. Yeah, you would be done in the 70s with
Like,
music.
like you wouldn't, like I tell people all the time, like with Funky Drum with James Brown, like you would not have hip hop. You wouldn't have drum and bass. You wouldn't have shit like that. Like, and people don't understand it.
Oh, I don't think you. I think if James Brown wasn't James Brown, we wouldn't even have hip hop or anything. I think that's the drive of James Brown.
We might
is
even
such
have the Rolling Stones,
right? I think James Brown's like the one of the most key figures of the whole of music. It's cool.
Oh, absolutely.
Easily, probably the most sampled dude in the history of the genre.
And well, it's just like his drive and his push on his musicians and everything to be the best and like and to perform it at such an extreme level. Yeah. You know, that bar made it so easy for the rest of us to go in there and do what hip hop does now, and having that expectation moving forward from that point, you know, I think it's just a fundamental thing that you jump off for hip hop. Like if the train went a little differently, maybe hip hop would be a different genre than what it really is. Who knows? In a different reality, hip hop's totally weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the funk. Like you wouldn't, and it's not just hip hop; it's funk too. Like like he created. Like everything about modern music that people love that makes it danceable.
Yep.
Right? Like, I mean, even with early disco, like there's funk in that. Like he was the person who coined the idea of funk, who was saying it on records.
Yeah.
Like that to me is super, super important. Because really, like that encompasses like everything that we listen to now.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Like everything from a Dr. Dre to like, I mean, Bruno Mars.
Yeah,
like,
Bruno Mars is
Uptown Funk. Like
Michael Jackson, dude.
Michael Jackson, Prince. Come on, B. Like these
Boosie.
are some of the most influential artists
of all time.
Of all times. They've sold more records than anybody.
Well, like Boosie Collins wouldn't be Boosie Collins without James Brown.
No, definitely
He would not have been. And
Sly,
exactly.
Yeah, and Sly influenced a hell of a lot of people.
A lot.
All that goes back to JB.
Yep.
Like, at the end of the day, that's crazy.
Absolutely. World's greatest entertainer.
Well, for sure.
So, bro, man. So we also want to ask you just your history. As far as like, how did you get into music production? Like, how did that start off? Like your early beginnings.
It started from locally here in St. Louis. I was influenced by cats because I always say it was like hip hop production in the 90s. It was like they were like wizards. You know, because you hear their music, but you wonder like how in the hell they did it.
Sure.
Right.
Because it's like coming into your studio now, for instance, Matt, like seeing all the gear, right? Like the average person, they come in here and it's just like that's Chinese to them. They're like,
sure.
What does all that stuff even do? Right. And it's bugged out. Yeah, I mean, and that's just how it goes. And for me, when I saw like machines like the ASR 10 or the MPC, I would be like, yo, like that thing looks dope. Like how do you even make a beat out of that?
Right.
That's crazy. And some of the first people I met that showed me what that was all about was this cat named Flex. They also kind of called him Crazy Cuts back in the day. He had a partner that he did, this cat named Fuji, they had a company called Korak Productions in the 90s, right? And they had a studio set up similar to this. They had like an upstairs studio, like off of, what was it, Manchester? You know, coming all the way back from, I guess where it's going south from Manchester, like kind of where
over by Big Bend or something like that, and like
Maplewood
area, or?
Right, Maplewood area. Yep. They had a office up there before it was like cool to be over there.
Sure.
You know, and they would just do beats for people. They worked with a group that I went on the DJ for called In Limbo. They produced their demos and stuff.
Okay.
And I met Flex. I met him. I met this other cat, Ron Ramey, who's also known as DJ Caveman. We was in a crew together, and they had machines. They had the EPS, the 16 plus. They had the ASR 10.
Nice.
They exposed me to the sound and their workflow. And then another cat, the cat that actually made me put my hands on it, was this dude named Hype Dog.
Shout out to Hype Dog, man.
That's my OG off top. Like, cause he's the one dude who was like, you gonna make beats today. Right? And he had an ASR 10 and he had a MIDI to an SP 1200. And so he would sample into the ASR 10 and do his drum programming on the SP 1200. But he was a beast, cause whatever machine he got, he would just learn it through and through. Yeah. He was one of those dudes.
I missed that. Like, I came in the very tail end of like engineering records that were made on MPCs and machines and stuff that were not computers, you know, all the time. I remember people would bring in their Fruity Loops towers to play beats at points. Like, but anyways, like watching cats in the heyday of like just being like flying on an MPC through the menus and just like jumping around and doing all the craziest shit and knowing them back and front and not even have to think about it. And that was always super impressive, man. Like, and
shit still is.
I bought a Triton the other a couple months back. I tried to look up videos on YouTube on how to use it, and there aren't any because nobody uses that shit now, and nobody makes videos talking about how they're using a Triton. You can't fucking learn how to do that shit. No. It was one of the most surprising things. Like, I can't believe that like there's not a wealth of knowledge about how to use a Triton.
No. You're not gonna find it. Like, I mean, as far as try looking up how to use an ASR, EPS, MPC 60.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you got 11 seconds worth of sampling time on an SP 1200? How do you make that work? 11 seconds, man.
Right. Well, don't you cut the sample rate or something like that? Isn't that the trick? That's not that one.
If you can do that, but the one way to do it is most of the time when you're doing hip hop sample, you're getting off a turntable, right? So you speed it up,
right,
to 45 RPM and bring it down to -8, because it still makes whatever's audible in the recording like somewhat decent when you slow it back down in the machine. So you sample it in sped up, and then you bring it out, right? You put it in the machine, you slow it back down, and boom, you can chop it up.
This man just gave y'all all game just now. You know that there's all types of game.
I mean, it's game to those that's relevant. Some of the cats that anybody's got an SP 1200 at this point probably already knows how to use it.
Oh, definitely. But you got some people like especially new out here that's trying to be purists to the game with the old.
I would hope so.
You know what I'm saying?
Awesome.
And it is, man. And I'm just trying to be one of those people myself, because I came from the digital age.
Yeah.
So me going to equipment like me messing around with keyboard, messing around with pads and stuff like that it feels great. The only thing about it is, like I said, I work on a handicap, but I know a lot of people don't. But I know, like with you particularly, I've seen your setup, so it just like, man, this how this Negro made this. I'm like, okay.
I mean, it's simplified now. I basically got with working in the box because once I started traveling overseas, I couldn't take. At one point, I had an MPC 3000 that I was traveling around, because when I first got to Japan, I was traveling from city to city and doing like different tracks for different artists, and I was taking machines and stuff with me on the subway and then on the Shinkansen.
Oh man,
and 3000 is heavy.
Sure.
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah.
I remember being on the train.
Did it have drives built into it at least?
No.
So you're
I had
carrying
to take
drives,
my SCSI, discs, everything.
Scary shit sometimes.
Yeah, it's really fucked up. But I can remember one time, like, I was on a train and it was a packed subway train. I was trying to get to the local bullet train outlet so I could get to another city. And I was like, it was middle of the day. I'm thinking, I'll be all right. It shouldn't be rush hour. But it was packed on the train. So I got this bag on my shoulder, like a big North Face bag. with a 3000 in it, and it's heavy, and it's like across my shoulder, across my body, and people are just like piling in because Japanese go like straight robot status. They just walk in, and I'm standing there, and they're just like pretty much like hovered onto my bag, like, and I'm just like, like, please get off. It's too heavy. It's like I'm cold. It's literally like I'm holding like 5 people over my shoulder. And I was just, at that point, I was like, fuck this. I'm gonna buy a computer and I'm doing it the new school way because this shit sucks. I was just like, my body is taking a beating. Like,
So you work on a computer now?
Yeah.
What program are you using? Reason.
Yeah.
Cool.
Second reason using on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, because of trifecta. That's another reason why we got down. Because, I was just like, this dude's using Reason?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't use Reason. My shit don't sound like that. But yeah, he's a beast for sure.
Most definitely.
But yeah, the ill thing about it too, I wanted to bring my boy Rock, who I'm going to shout out, Rock Martin. He's one of my coworkers at Sweetwater. We actually got wind of the new MPC, the MPCX. And Rock, I don't know, I could be giving up trade secrets or whatever. I hope not. But Akai is one of our valued vendors or whatever that they work with us. And apparently they got some input from some of the people that I work with about what to do with this new machine. The MPCX.
That's wild.
And Alive.
Nice.
So they got to see a lot of. I'm not gonna go into detail, but they got to see a lot and put a lot of input. I'm not gonna name names.
That's tight.
Right.
But they put some input into the design.
Nice.
So that's why I tell people when I put the post online, I was like, look, this real deal. Whatever you gotta ask me. But all I'm gonna tell you is this is gonna be the shit.
Nice.
Because I know what went into it. It wasn't
That's
just
dope.
a Kai sitting around in a room like a bunch of nerds going, hey, we're gonna make this NPC. It's not like it wasn't like that. Not this time around,
Good.
Oh man.
So they put a lot of thought behind it. It's really a great machine. I think it's going to satisfy a lot of users. I'm personally going back to using outboard gear because of it. That's just how serious.
So, when you say that outboard gear, like, you're going to be connecting keyboards to it?
Yeah, what I'm planning on doing, I have a short list of things I like to go back to using. So what I want to do is get a MPC 3000 and an MPCX, right? Because the 3000 has a great sound in terms of the sound engine. It sounds phenomenal. And I want to shoot the 3000 out with the X just to see what what the gain stage and the output sounds like.
Sure.
But the other thing I want to do is start bringing certain synths in. I want to get a Mini Moog Model D.
Nice.
Which, if you don't know, that was the Moog synthesizer that was used to do like the bass line for like numerous Michael Jackson records.
Tight.
Parliament Funkadelic, all over that joint. Herbie Hancock, like everybody's used that joint. Like,
way cool.
Super
Nice.
dope, like just iconic piece of synthesizer. And that joint, I'm getting one of those off top because the old joint, the original, didn't have MIDI.
Yeah.
The new one that they just reproduced has MIDI.
Nice.
So I can MIDI that with an MPC. And you also have CV gate control from the MPCX. So you can actually you can program your synthesizer if you want to do it that way.
Totally.
The ill thing about it that like I used to love about Jay Dilla, for instance, like he would sample, I think from the Mother 32 or whatever he would have like a Moog and just sample bass lines and patches into the MP and then just like play them on a pad. Now you don't even have to do that. So you can be in a modular like outboard kind of setup, but you have more tactile overall control.
Sure.
As opposed to just being like, oh, I'm about to sample everything into the MP because I can't connect it all.
So what do you mean? How would you would drop MIDI onto the pads or something like that and have it play that back instead?
You mean like the way we do it before?
What you're talking about, how Dilla would sample back in.
Yeah,
so
Dilla
would you do instead of that workflow that would be easier?
Well, for instance, the Mini Moog Model D, for instance, if I wanted to do like instrumentation or link whatever I was programming from the Moog with the MP, I couldn't do it. I would literally have to lay down a drum track in, say, Pro Tools or something, and just play freehand or have somebody play freehand off the Moog because there's no MIDI connection.
No, I follow you on that on the new part. So that's what you mean. Oh, I follow. I totally got you
so
round trip now. Yeah,
at the end of the day, it's like
that's great.
Yeah, like you can work all the way out of the box.
Totally.
Now and just create some stuff.
Yeah.
And the MPC is powerful enough It has enough memory in it to where you can save all that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because, I mean, it always sucked carrying my notebooks with my 2000,
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, you know, I'd forget something or I'd fucking
You have like
overwrite the thing the wrong
20
way.
discs
Yeah.
for one record, for one track.
Borrow a MoFat from my homie for a couple days and
Right.
then forget to fucking dump the right or something, you know what I mean?
Oh
like,
man, I used to hate that life. That life was not cool.
no.
Oh man.
That's
I mean, it
what
was dope creatively,
sure.
but man, the worst part about creating in some of the older MPCs was just if you didn't have a SCSI drive, you learned real quick. Because you would go through a box of discs like that to save one track, and it just made working impossible.
Yeah, I think when I started, I was straight on zips. I was on zips from the top. And then I just had a USB one that I have on my computer, and I always like dump shit into it and then dump back and forth. But that was cool. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you usually got it however you could. You know, you try to create what you could and put yourself in a position to save it, so as you come back to it later.
Yeah.
You know, I think also some of that technology forced some cats to just work harder.
Yeah.
Like, I know...
Be living in the moment more, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like, I know that they said that turned Timberland into a beast, right? Because he
sure
used the
did.
ASR 10. And
And your focus had to be intense on that fucking record, you know what I mean? Like, you only have that window, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is kind of like, I always feel like that. I feel like I sound like a old person talking about how I used to walk uphill both ways in the snow, but like, it's like, I think that made better producers. I think that made better. Like, I know for engineers, when I have engineers come here that are from a school, most of the time I'm not impressed with them, and I think it's because they never had to hook up a fucking board a million times in a row with cables for real and troubleshoot bullshit and deal with it.
Right.
Now they just get to like whatever.
Yeah.
Everything's connected digitally and it works all great. And there's never a stupid thing that happens unless you just didn't do it right and you're dumb or something, which is no diss, whatever, cool, get your shit. But I feel like it makes better engineers to have those problems happen along the way, and I think that probably is very similar as far as like, you know, producers living in the moment and having to fucking hit right or lose everything. I mean, that means a lot more in your fucking life when that's the reality.
Yeah, it's better to work with a handy. It's kind of better to work on analog or even on a handicap, man, because you learn to appreciate shit more throughout time.
Limitation breeds creativity. That's what they
Brother,
say.
I'm telling you.
Absolutely. Like, I think the toughest thing, the simplest thing that people don't realize is, you know, is word association. Engineers were engineers. There were people who went to school and knew how to basically take a piece of electronics apart piece by piece.
And
put it back together. Now, I feel like some of the dudes that I come across, they say they're engineers, but they're not.
Sure.
Right? Like, it's like, oh, I'm an audio
It's like
engineer.
DJs.
Yeah, exactly. Quote unquote, 2 fingers up. And it's like, look, man, like, if you don't know how a circuit works or how a transformer works, like, you know, you're not an engineer. I'm sorry.
Right.
Like, you're not an electrical engineer. You're not
an electronics engineer.
Electronics. Like, you know, like, if you're just pushing some faders up and down, like, okay, cool. And it's nothing against that. Some cats are like really, really talented, and they don't ever have to take shit apart.
Sure, no, and that's their life. They get lucked into it. But I think, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm an indie guy. You know, I think the independent route's pretty interesting. And I think if you look at a lot of the more interesting studios and situations that people have going, it's guys that aren't just button computer guys.
No, not. I would say
stuff.
In that world, as far as engineers are concerned, the ones that are getting it are the ones that hustle.
Sure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the ones who know how to put what they need to put together. It's like, and ironically, like, that's really the way life is, right?
Totally.
It's like, that's the way it's supposed to be. Like, the farmer that goes out, busts his ass, gets the crop.
Totally.
And takes that crop to market and makes that money, right?
Yep.
Right.
Like, the average audio engineer, if you set up a studio, if you just got a couple of speakers and a keyboard, and you're like, all right, I'm open for business. Like,
that's not going to attract
it's
anything.
not going to get it done.
Nope.
It's just not going to get it done. You know, like, and it's funny because I've been in people's studios like that where it's just like, I'm looking at an artist like, you paid this dude money to come down here and do work?
But, you know, I hear that all the time.
All the time.
I think it's interesting.
It's a sad reality.
Yeah, people get gassed up.
Yeah.
I hope nobody's gassing me up.
Nah, man.
Nah, I mean, your work speaks for itself.
No,
man.
but you know what I
So,
mean.
what I'm saying?
It's always that's the situation. I never think. I don't ever tease myself that I couldn't get cast. You know, I don't want to keep my head thinking that I'm in the clouds all the time. You know what I mean?
Well, I honestly, like, it's fucked up to say this because, like, I love you to death. Like, I didn't start working with you till I was on my way out of town.
Sure.
And I felt stupid for that.
Oh, I mean,
Because I was just like, dude, everybody was like, oh, well.
well, I was out in the county for forever.
But I was closer to you.
Oh, yeah?
I was right there by the circle. I was
Okay.
the thing was, everybody else was hella far.
Sure.
So they were making it seem like, yeah, Matt, like, Suburban Pro's a spot, but it's just so far. And I'm like,
Yeah.
where is it? And then Trifecta and Rock brought me out the one time, and I was like, oh, this is like, dude, it's like 20 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, cool. And then he moved over to the south side, and I was like, oh, well, fuck. You know, like, now you're still 20 minutes from my house.
Sure.
So I'm just like, all right, well, cool. And the one thing I'll say I love about, like, working with you is nothing but communication and honesty. It's like, all right, I got all this shit going on, so I can't do it today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. But I might have a spot next week. Okay, cool. Keep me updated. Boom. Next week is here. We're good to go. All right, call up my peoples. Let's get in there and get it done.
Right.
From the minute we hit the door, boom, boom, we getting stuff set up. We're ready to go. And we're recording. The vibe is positive. It's perfect. Everybody's having a good time, and the music's coming out great.
100%.
That is the most important part of it. Like, I don't want somebody who's going to be trying to take over the session,
Sure.
or trying to tell me how to do stuff, or trying to tell the musicians how to do stuff. It's like, let the vibe set. Because I've been in some sessions where it's like, dude, nobody has to say nothing.
Man, I'm glad you're telling me this right now because I there's this PBS documentary or something. Soundbreaking.
Dude,
And my homie Ben Bounce told me to watch it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I turned on the first episode and I was watching. I was sitting on the couch and like all these producers are talking about. They're like, man, you know, he tells you this is gonna be about, and he's like. And I sometimes I know I put my spin on the records, but I'm really like I take a big part of it as like I want to sit back and capture what's happening. Like I'm not trying to influence. Like it's not my thing. Like I could totally not be versed in what this group is trying to do. So if I put my spin on it, I could fuck the whole fucking thing up. And that's the last thing I'm trying to do because it's somebody's life's art. Like that is so important to me. I'm making records. I'm making records of history. This is not like these aren't. That's just my luck on it. But watching that, it was like, oh, these commanding producers that are like, I'm going to step in the room and this is how the song's going to be now. And Paul McCartney's in the studio recording a million things. I would kill myself before I could sit in the studio with Paul McCartney for fucking 12 hours recording shitty songs until they hit on one. Like that's not my style. Like I would rather not do that. So to hear that my style is cool, that makes me feel a little better about myself because that was like last night.
Because you mean you work,
right?
I mean,
it's
because
crazy.
it's just basically saying you work in efficiency, man. I mean,
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah,
and that's always a
Definitely.
perfect thing for someone like you. You know, you work in efficiency.
Possibly, man. It's an art. It's an art, and my art grooves with your art, and so that's why it works. But my art doesn't groove with everybody's art, and so that's why it's always like how you're
it's
like
touch and go.
You want to be on top of. You want to go from on top of the world to your heart through your asshole. That's how I can feel that same damn way when just because I don't groove with somebody, and that's no thing that I get offended about at this point. Now I'm like, yo, this is how it's going to be.
Right.
You know, if we aren't making art together in a positive way, we should not make art together, and that's okay with me. I hope that's okay with you.
Yeah.
But when you click with somebody, I always think that's a great thing. But it can be very devastating to be like, my fucking art sucks, and this guy doesn't like it.
Yeah. Like that's the thing. Like I learned of some valuable lessons while like kind of having my toe. I like to say my pinky toe in the music industry. But at the end of the day, it's like you're not in the business of crushing dreams.
No.
Like you're so not in the business of that. And I've watched so many people just totally destroy other people.
Sure.
And listen, I'll tell a person, I won't lie to a person if they have less talent or if they're marginal. I won't lie to that person and tell them, yo, you suck. You know, or yo, you're awesome. You know, if they suck. I won't lie to them, but I'll be like, look, work on it.
Yeah.
Just work on it. Like, if you're an amateur, you're somebody starting off, I can tell. Okay?
Sure.
Right? Like, I've been listening to music long enough, beyond producing or whatever. Like, I know when I hear something that sounds like, yeah, you just came up with that like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
All right? And that's not it.
Sure.
So, to me, I tell people all the time, like, look, if you're gonna do it, like, do it. Just put 110% into it and do it. And I will applaud the effort.
Absolutely.
Because there are plenty of people who are not that talented who are making lots of money in this game.
Fuck yeah.
Man.
Right? So, you know, who am I to tell you what you should or shouldn't do or how you should or shouldn't do it?
No.
But at least make a fucking effort.
100% agree with that.
You know, like, make an effort. Don't rely on somebody else to tell you. Because it's always going to taint your shit. It's always going to make you feel like, damn, well, I regret that I made that decision. And you hear it from artists all the time.
Sure.
They're just like, oh, I wish I would have had a chance to re-record that, or I didn't like that vocal or that take the producer was. And it's just like, see? Like, when you do it from here and it's your shit, then there's nothing for you to feel uncomfortable about.
Totally.
Because you're just like, whoa, okay.
Absolutely.
I gave it everything.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, you're going to get more respect for that from people than you ever would. Like, people, I was thinking about it the other day. People don't want to see the same thing. Like, I don't. Right. If I wanted to see the same, people just don't want to see the same. I don't know if they expand on that idea. Everybody knows. So be as unique as you can. You know, burn your light. You know what I mean? Like people will come and fuck with you if you're unique. If you're doing your thing, and people can tell you're enthusiastic about what you're burning on.
Absolutely.
Hey, just do you, man. Do you and be the best you.
Totally.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's why I would say keep it 100. And speaking of which, you know, and speaking of just being you know, because you made the 50 record and stuff like that, and also you made another record with another big artist, biggest in the game, OG. So tell us how that happened.
Well, I went to. Let me see. How do I tell this story? Because it's a funny story. There was this story. The story of how that record came about involves somebody that's really close to me too. This cat named Seb. He's a brother from another mother that I met. He's actually from Switzerland.
Shout out to Seb.
And we worked together at Fat Beats. Fat Beats headquarters in New York City. In Brooklyn, New York. And we used to come to work every day, and he would play me beats. He'd bring a cassette tape of his beats, and I would bring a cassette tape of my beat. And he would completely destroy me day after day, right? But that was how I got better. Yeah. Because he pulled me under his wing. He was like, yo, I'm going to get you some samples and show you how this shit's really done. Tight. So after I placed Hustler's Ambition, he had gotten a Tony Yayo placement. Uh-huh. Yeah, he did a song called It Is What It Is on Tony Ayo's debut album. And we were both just like, he did a gang of records that came out independently. Like, he worked with Cage and, like, gang of motherfuckers, like, High and Mighty, like, just mad people were fucking with him. And Juggernauts, like, we both ended up working with Juggernauts, our peoples, too. Just did a lot of shit. And we were both just always talking about, like, we want to work with Jay-Z, Yeah. And Mike Geronimo was my next door neighbor in Queens. We lived together on 51st Street in Queens, in Woodside, Queens. Nice. And, you know, Mike Geronimo was like, we love Mike's records, right? Like, so Mike used to come by the crib, I'd play him a beat I was working on, he'd be like, yeah, that's cool, let's do it. And literally, like, I was teaching Mike how to make beats for a while. Oh, wow. I would let him just sit at my shit and fuck around and make beats. Nice. So, you know, shout out to Mike Geronimo, that's another good dude. Shout out to him, man. Real good dude. And also gave me a lot of good knowledge. So we would both kind of like run up on Mike, like, yo, we want to fuck with Jay. Like, we know you fuck with Jay. Like, let you know, hook us up with Jay. You know, we want to do a record with Jay. We want to do a record with Jay. Right. And shit never happened. So we was like, all right, fuck it, whatever. So in between the time I did the 50 record, right, I went to Japan for the first time. I came back home, and next thing I know, I'm broke again, and I'm like, well, fuck, what do I do now, right? Right. So I got a new manager. I got a guy, Marshall Murphy. Shout out to Marshall. He worked for a publishing company in Manhattan. I can't remember the name of the publishing company. It'll come to me later. But yeah, he was just real dope dude, real aggressive and assertive. He was like, bring your beats to the office. So I took a CD of beats of me and my crew, like Black Spade beats were on there. Shout out to Spade. That's awesome. So Black Spade. Yeah. Right, yeah, because no doubt. See? Shout out to Spade. Come back around, brother. Oh, gee. That's right. So, you know, we was just going hard at that point, it was like a lot of family, a lot of people from St. Louis that we was cool with and shit. And we was trying to get our beats out there. So Marshall was really actually feeling Spade a lot. And so we took a beat CD of like 50 tracks. Just all like most fire shit, right? And you know, me knowing how to like make a beat CD, I knew you put the dope joint at the front, right? The first track. Yeah. That's how I saw Hustler's Ambition. Because when I had a beat, I used to go in with my beat CDs. I used to have like artwork, everything.
Nice.
I would go to artists that I knew in the city that was dope and be like, give me an image, and I'll take it to somebody and do a graphic with it and put it on the cover of my shit. Right?
Nice.
And I would put a lot into it. So, but I would always put the best track first. Like some cats, I listen to beat CDs and I'd be like, why you just have random tracks playing on it? Like, don't you know this is a game?
Right.
Like, you're trying to, it's chess, not checkers. Like, get your shit right.
They'll learn.
You know what I'm saying? Because when it's time for Jay to put the beat on, like, he's listening for what he needs, not for what you want.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to think about it scientifically. And this is a real, very important part of the game that a lot of cats need to realize when it comes to shopping beats. Because you can't do that shit no more now.
Listen up, y'all. You about to give y'all some game.
Y'all, the way it works now is you put beats in a zip. Or you put them on Dropbox.
Right.
Or whatever. Or you say, hey, look, check out my SoundCloud. So you better make sure whatever sequence you put, or whatever you're going to do, make sure it reaches the artist's ear first and it grabs them. Emotionally grabs them. That's very, very important. Like, when I did Hustler's Ambition and I made the track, I knew exactly what I had. Right. I knew I had a track that it would grab you emotionally from the intro. This is one of the biggest lessons I ever learned from my boy Seb. Because he knew how to build a track. He knew how to make a dope intro. He knew how to make a great interlude. He knew how to make a great outro for a track. Like, I try to do a complete record, right? Yeah. So, that was my whole thing. Like, when I did this track that went on to become the prelude for Jay-Z on the Kingdom Come album, right? That record, my boy Armstead, who was a dope DJ in New York that I worked with, and I'm a dope producer, he was part of our crew too. He had beats that we put in on Jay shit. So he gave me the sample for that. He came by my crib in Queens. He was like, yo, I got some records. I'm going to just give you some joints, see what you can flip. And he gave me that Stax record. It was Keeping the Faith by Mel and Tim. And he brought that record, and I was like, all right, yeah, this joint's dope. Like, I know this sample. So I flipped it and chopped it up and put the drums on it and shit. And I had it for a while, and I was like, one day I was watching Superfly, and I was like, yo, this movie's dope. I forgot how dope this movie was. And I just started listening for vocal captures, you know, like different parts of it. And there's that part where Priest is just like, what the fuck is you gonna do except hustle, you know? Right. And I was like, okay, this could work, you know? So I threw it in. I used to have all my stuff interconnected, my stereo, the TV, everything was connected to the sample.
Oh, way cool.
So I could always just grab what I wanted, you know? And so I sampled that shit, put it in the machine, chopped it up, and put it in the intro, and just timed it to where, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then the track would drop, you know what I'm saying, at that right moment. And a lot of people, when they hear that track on the album, I think they think, oh, it's just some shit like they put on the record.
Sure.
Like, nah.
No, it was designed with this.
I shopped the track the way you heard it. Like, with the intro and everything.
Dude, that's like one of the dopest intro. Like, that has to be one of the dopest intros to any hip-hop album I've ever. I'm not even saying that because you my boy. I'm saying that just being real. Like, the prelude to Kingdom Come is like, I promise you, dog. I promise you.
From me to you, like, I love you to death, and I'm thankful. But when we made it, like, that track was like not that big a deal. It was just so like whatever at the time, right? Like, you don't even think about it, but it's Jay. Jay's a genius.
Yeah,
most definitely.
Jay is a fucking genius. And I'm going to say that because Jay had the presence of mind to know what he needed at that time for his record. And it fit perfectly. He wanted an intro for that album. And that album, when he got that track, he had his ears and his heart open. And that's a lot of artists don't do that. Yo, they just looking for like the next hit record.
Sure.
And it's like, if you're a producer that takes the time to know the consistency of what you do for each beat, right? okay, make a dope intro, make this, bring some emotion, do all these different things. If you have that much follow through in what you do, then the person or the artist that you focus, like the energy is really important. You put that positivity, you put that understanding of what you're doing into it, then the artist that grabs it, if they take the same attention to detail, they're going to listen to it the same way you made it.
Right.
They're going to be like, yo, all right.
Totally.
Right? This fits perfectly. Right? So I always tell people, like young people always ask me, "Well, how did you get, I was like, I didn't talk shit. I just made music." You know what I'm saying? Like, the music speaks for me. I don't have to.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not a rapper. I never would try to act like I was. I can barely rhyme cat and hat. You feel me? Like, I'm never going to be a rapper. But at the end of the day, I know what a flow sounds like. When I hear it, if I make a track, I can hear who sounds good over it.
Sure.
There you
right?
go.
And at the time when we placed the track, and my manager at the time told me, I'll walk you through that process too, because that was a crazy situation. At the time, Marshall was like, hit me up every other day, like, yo, I think you need to send me stems of that track. So I was like, all right, cool. I had this homeboy Urko. You might know him. He's got a presence online now.
Yes.
My boy Urko. He's a dope-ass engineer from Italy, and we work together a lot. He's actually from just outside of Venice, and he lives in LA now. But at the time, he was trying to move to the States and do all this work.
Yeah.
So he was in New York when we met up. And we got to know each other through MySpace back in the day. And he was like, "Yo, I want to work with you. I heard the 50 Cent record. I love it. I was like, all right, cool. He was just real assertive. Really wanted to be in the game, and he's very professional. So I was like, all right, come by the crib, we hang out. I'll take you around with me. And then that opportunity came through at the same time. So I was like, yo, can you track this joint out for me? I could track my own beat out.
Sure.
But I was just like, let me see what you could do.
Yeah.
So he tracked everything out, EQ'd it, had the track ready. And Marshall was like, yo, you got to do something about those drums, B. So I was like, all right. So I did something. So I don't even know what I did to the drums, right? But I sent him the track with the drum. And then Marshall came back. He's like, yeah, can you switch the drums back? And I was like, okay, yeah, we can switch the drums back. So we went back in and retracked it again with the same drums that we had before. But we changed a little bit. There's like you can hear there's like a finger snap, like on the snare hit, right? So we actually kind of doubled them up and replaced them and like EQ'd them and put them in there a little tighter behind them. Okay. And he just really hooked it up. Really sounds great. Tracked it all out. Made it real easy for the engineer to just load everything up and have it ready to go.
Sure.
So, man, so we got through that. And then Marshall comes back and he's like, yeah, I think we need to talk a little bit about who this is going to go to. And I was like, all right, well, what's it for? He was like, well, I'm not sure yet, but it's for a Def Jam artist. And I was like, that's all you can tell me? The Def Jam artist? I was like, who's the fucking Beastie Boys? Like, who? Like, what do you mean Def Jam? I was just like, well, fuck that, because the Beastie Boys ain't been on Def Jam since like 88, so fuck that, I guess. I was like, is it Public Enemy? Like, who? I don't know. Who's on Def Jam now? I don't know. EPMD? What? Who? So that's totally a joke. I'm just showing my age right now. But so he was just like, nah, I can't tell you right now, but give me a day, and maybe once I know for sure. I was like, okay, cool. So
that's a long day.
Yeah, it's a pretty long day. But when you're broke and eating ramen noodles,
do what you got to do.
The hours go by that much faster. So. But it was like whatever. So he got back to me the next day. He's like, "Are you sitting down?" I was like, "Yeah, whatever." He's like, "It's for Jay, and it's gonna be the intro on his new album, and it's a comeback album." And by that point, Show Me What You Got had already been around the airwaves, around the world review a million times. I'm like, wow, really? Like, damn, he must have really needed this fast. And then I went to Marshall. I was like, so what the fuck was up with those drums, B?
Yeah.
And he was like, well, I thought, that you needed to do something better with the drums. But then when we sent it to Jay came back like, I want the drums how they was. And I was like, I knew it. I was like, why you always trying to fuck with my shit, man? So, I'm sorry, Marshall, I got to put you on blast, but fuck it. let the producers produce, B. You do what you do. We do what we do.
Well, I think that's the end of it. I got to get moving on to other things, but...
All right.
This has been a great podcast, man. I super appreciate you stopping by. I know JBJR does
Dude,
too.
this show was excellent, dog.
Oh, I had a good time, man.
Absolutely.
I feel bad I showed up on CP time, but you know.
Oh, no,
Man,
big
look,
deal.
dude, we got so much. Man, look, I just wanted to do this show because I knew this was gonna be a dope episode.
No
so
doubt.
yeah, most definitely.
Do I got time to set up some shout-outs?
Absolutely, yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. First of all, I want to shout out people I work with. Rockwell, Tefpo, like even the cats I haven't worked with yet that I want to, Doorway, cats I work with that you haven't heard shit from Monk. Like a lot of cats, Mo Eagleston,
Yeah.
everybody that's down with the Moe All Stars, like all those cats, man. Love them dudes to death. Who else? Flex, the people I talked about who influenced me. Flex, Caveman, Hype Dog, wherever you are out there. It's my big brother. Seb over in Switzerland.
Yeah.
That motherfucker's a beast. I'm gonna give you some of his beats too, man.
Tight, yeah.
So you can check. His shit is crazy. I got like pretty much his whole anthology, like, but our discography rather. But yeah, like let me see. Shout out to the Juggernauts, who are some of the great independent underground legends I work with that are awesome artists. Let me see. Shout out to all my peoples in Hawaii and Japan, people at R-Rated Records. Dabo, who gave me my first shot in Japan, doing a record with him that was huge. Anarchy, Sita, fucking everybody that I work with on a major level in America, Jay-Z, 50, fucking everybody I still want to work with, like Jadakiss. Hope you're listening to this. But my boy Sep did a dope ass record with Jada. So
Nice.
It's like it's a double victory right there.
Yeah.
Even though I ain't get it, he got it. It's good to have team members, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Sep did a crazy joint. I'll give you that joint too to fuck with. But yeah, like Locks, man, super dope. Raekwon, Nas. Like these are all people I would love to fucking give music to and work with. Mike Geronimo, once again, much love to that brother. Definitely helped me up heavy, when I was going through a lot of shit, man, and vice versa. So that's my brother for sure. Man, so many people, like all the people I made great friends with at Sweetwater.
Yeah.
Like been a great process, just coming into that whole family.
Sure.
Understanding how that machine works. Been an incredible, I guess it's up to almost 10 months now since I've been started there, 9 months.
Yeah.
Amazing, unbelievable fucking company.
That's wonderful.
Amazing. Like, I'm super blessed to have an opportunity to work there, and pretty much everybody I work with there, I haven't had a bad experience.
That's great.
They just hire great people.
Nice.
And that's
Makes it easy then for you.
hell yeah. Absolutely. All the people I deal with customer-wise, awesome people. Everybody I ever sold anything to and anybody I ever will sell something to at Sweetwater, man. Love you to death, man. Definitely. Man, who else can... Oh, my boy Wally.
Yeah.
Wally Bilal from New York. This cat held me down from the beginning. He was like one of the first dudes who was like shopping me and my boy Seb's tracks out in New York when we was like linked up. My homie Malik Abdul Rahman. He's actually doing these releases that he's doing. Like, he travels the world. He's been in Japan. He went to Thailand, I believe, and he does these research projects that he's actually gonna be putting out this year, where he's getting samples of stuff from like world places, like international like samples and loops, and like putting them into beats. And
that's awesome.
That's dope.
Field research, I think, is what his joints are called.
That's
nice,
tight.
Nice.
My boy Malik, that's like my little brother. Like, I met him in Japan. He was in the military, in the Air Force. And you meet a lot of dudes in the military when you travel overseas, right? When you're in Japan. But this cat was like super duper, like on point. Like,
nice.
Really, really good at making beats. Had the MPC, knew the gear. And I just fell in with him right away the first time I went out there. Now he lives in New York, and he's just graduated, I think, from a new school. He's getting married. Congratulations to you, brother.
Shout out to you.
Getting married this June. Real good brother. Shout out to my nieces, Asa and Nia. They're both super like musical heads. My niece Asa is actually gonna start DJing and producing now. I sold her. She was one of my first ever customers at Sweetwater.
Nice.
And she bought a little like DJ controller from me, and she's getting dope with it. And She also just bought her first home, so much love to her.
Good, that's great.
That's what's up.
And
That's what's up.
My niece, Nia, out of LA. Yo, she's kicking ass. She's teaching. She's a dope ass dancer. Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
So, yeah.
Perfect, man.
Yep. And my parents, too. My mom.
Oh, yeah, gotta shout out the parents.
Got it.
And Omar, my homie, my brother.
Thanks for this opportunity, fella.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh man,
Thanks for
absolutely,
coming
man.
out,
Most definitely. So we also just want to give you one last opportunity, man. Like, where can people contact you on social media? And since you also work for Sweetwater, man, did you want to go ahead and advertise, like your own business and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, I'm struggling with a cold right now, but
Oh no, it's all good.
I appreciate y'all having the patience to deal with my raspy Barry White. But yeah, if you want to, obviously, if you need gear, you need to contact me about, improving your studio or your production setup or anything like that, or your guitarist or bassist, drummer. We carry all that stuff, and I'm more than happy to help however I can. I always tell my customers that, so anybody who hears me, they're probably really tired of me telling them that. But
Nice.
anyway, the number to reach me there is 1-800-222-4700, extension 1772. And the email is Brian_Hughes, BRIAN_HUGHES, at Sweetwater and Sweetwater.com. Yeah. So you can email me. You can go to the website. You can probably actually search for me on there because all the sales engineers' profiles on the website.
Nice.
So yeah, if you're just curious, you want to chop it up about, even if you don't want to buy anything, you just need to have advice and you want to talk to somebody about something. I want to get in the game. I don't know what to do. Just holler at me, man.
Yeah.
I'll give you the truth. I'm not going to tell you, you know what I'm saying? Like, it might not be what you want to hear, but it'll be what you need to hear.
Sure.
Right? So, but yeah. So I'm available that way. If you need beats, just email me. Email me at bdenero, BDENERO @gmail.com.
There you go.
bdenero. That's, it's not spelled right, but whatever. That's hip hop, right? Just spell it wrong, and that's hip hop. But yeah, just email me. Let me know what you're trying to do. We can work something out.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? If you're interested in hearing some tracks, I'll send you some joints to check out. Just don't try to run off with my joints and rap all over them. That happens, yo.
Right, man. Scumbags.
Very true.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. At least give me a shout out. Let me know I want to use this joint. What can we do about it? And 9 times out of 10, we can work something out.
Right.
But yeah, just communicate. Communication is key, right?
Right, yes, sir.
Yeah, for sure. So that's how you get in touch with me.
Perfect.
Or otherwise, you can call Matt. Matt's the homie. You know what I'm saying?
We'll get you in touch.
Yeah, for sure. Matt will definitely put you in touch with me. Matt is, as far as St. Louis is concerned, he's my go-to audio engineer. So
Absolutely.
anything I'm doing right now, not just locally, but a lot of work that I need from musicians and things of that nature, I would definitely go through Matt. He knows how to reach me.
Much appreciated.
Absolutely. So,
Man, yo, it was definitely a pleasure, my brother, man. We truly appreciate you coming on the show. For real, we really, really do, man.
Super bunch.
I appreciate y'all having me, man. We all told me you was doing this. I listened to the Trifecta one and I was just laughing the whole time. I was just yo, I don't know if I'm going to be nearly that interesting.
Oh, absolutely.
Dude.
Come on now.
Oh, come on, man.
Dude, Trifecta, he's a beast.
He's a beast.
That's my
we
that's my
beast on
G.
the show.
Trust
That's
me,
the
I already
idea.
know. I already know.
Just
That's
call
my
it the
G.
Beast Show.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Beast Show. You can just play mad, loud animal sounds.
We'd have to all start screaming.
Right.
All right, so basically, if you guys ever need to reach us, remember Suburban Pro Studios is at 3739 South Jefferson in St. Louis, Missouri. It's the south side, just to let you know. And you can always reach us at fruitboompod@gmail.com. And just at fruitboompod at Twitter, excuse me, I'm sorry. And then fruitboompod@gmail.com for our actual email address if you need to contact us. Booking, if you're a producer, DJ, engineer, reach out, man. We on Mixcloud, we on SoundCloud. Just got on the Stitcher. So we're going to be advertising more on there. We're going to try to expand more and try to just do our own hosting very soon. Try to just expand more on that kind of thing. So anything you else want to say, Brother Matt?
Nah, thanks for listening. I appreciate everybody that's tuning in.
Most definitely. Peace.
Peace.